Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the area of polygons. I'm going to call this regular polygons. And what I mean with that is that all the sides on the outside are the same length. So looking at question number 10, I'm just going to say this side right here, and I'm going to write it down, is 12.7. And why do I know that? Is because every side on the outside is the same thing, the same length. I'm also going to break down my polygon into triangles. From the center, you guys can see the centered in the point in the centered. From the centered, I'm going to connect it to each of my corners. And that's how I'm going to break my polygon into triangles. Let me focus on one little triangle only. So my mind is going to be in this triangle. I know for the area of a triangle, I know I gave you guys the area of a triangle, and I said for a triangle, you're going to multiply the two numbers that intersect at 90 degrees. You guys can see my 90-degree angle. Let me multiply the two numbers that intersect or they meet at that corner. And I'm just going to go 11 times 12.7, and my result, I'll divide it by 2. Remember, for a triangle, we multiply the two numbers that meet at the 90-degree corner, and the result we divided by 2. That is going to give me the area of this triangle. So let me do that. I'm just going to grab my calculator. I'm going to go 11 times 12.7, press equal. My result I divided by 2, and that gives me that triangle is 69.85. 69.85. That is that triangle, the one I highlighted in blue. I see how many triangles there are because in this case, all the triangles are the same, right? I already have one of them. I'm going to say I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. So what I'm going to do with the 69.85, let me multiply this by 6. So I'm going to go times 6, and that gives me 419.1. So what I did was my polygon, I broke it into triangles. There's 6 triangles this case. I broke my polygon into triangles. I find the area of one of the triangles. Right? One of my triangles was 69.85. And then I multiply by how many triangles there are. Take a look at number 11. From the centered, where you guys can see the point in the centered, let me connect this to each of my corners. And that's how I'm going to create triangles. I know this side at the bottom is 26 because I said that all the sides on the outside, in this case, all the sides on the outside are going to be equal. So let me focus on the triangle at the bottom. Let me get the area of that triangle. I'm going to go 26 times 7.5 because I multiply the two numbers that meet at the 90-degree corner. So 26 times 7.5, because it is a triangle, my result, I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm just going to go 26 times 7.5, and my result, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I get that result is 97.5. Once again, that is just the area of this triangle. Right, I highlighted in blue. There happen to be 3 triangles. You guys can see there's triangle number 2, triangle number 3. There's 3 triangles. So I know each of them is 97.5. There's 3 of them. So let me just go 97.5 times 3. And my result should be 292.5. Get the area of each triangle and then multiply by how many triangles we have. Let's take a look at question number 12. One thing I want to emphasize here, though, is if you notice, my polygon in number 10 had 6 sides to begin with, and I came out with 6 triangles. My polygon in number 11 had 3 sides to begin with, and I came out with 3 triangles. My question in number 12 has 7 sides. So I can just say it, I'm going to come up with 7 triangles. So all right, let's take a look. I'm going to be looking at one triangle, and my focus is here. I know this side on the outside is 16 because I said that all the sides on the polygon, in this case, they're all going to be the same. So the way I'm going to find out the area of that triangle, my blue triangle, I'm going to go 16.6 times 16th, and my result, I'm going to divide it by 2. Once again, that's just going to give me the area of the one triangle. And that I get 132.8. Once again, that is this triangle only. I said earlier we're going to have 7 triangles. And the way I know that we have 7 triangles is because the polygon has 7 sides. So let me just go times 7. And my result gives me, let me see, hold on. $929.6. Once again, I just got the area of one little triangle. And I multiply it by how many sides there are because that's the same amount of triangles. If you don't believe me, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, 6, and 7 triangles. All right, let's take a look at question number 13 now. I'm going to focus on one little triangle. I know the measurement on the outside is 19.6. So the way I'm going to find out the area of that little triangle, I'm just going to go 19.6 times 5.7, and my result, I'm going to divide it by 2. So 19.6 times 5.7, I press equal, and then divide it by 2, and I get 55.86. That is just the area of that triangle. I'm going to multiply this by 3 because I know I can make 3 triangles out of this polygon. And the way I know I can make up 3 triangles is because the polygon has 3 sides. The amount of sides on the polygon is how many triangles I can make there. So let me multiply this by 3, and I get 167.58. Let me zoom out. I want to emphasize something on the instructions. The instruction said, find the area of each polygon, of each regular polygon, and then it said, round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. That means that each of my answers should be just 1 decimal place. So far, it has been just 1 decimal point. But now in number 13, I have 2 decimal places. So I take a look at the second one. It is big enough. So because it is big enough, it's going to bring my 5. It's going to bring it up 1 more. So my result here should be 167.6. My answered, I'm not rounding up any work in between. My answered will only have 1 decimal place. It says round your answered to the nearest tenth if necessary.